Hello, is anyone there? This is a new deal for me. I don't know how to view uh, I guess the chat. Anybody there? I see two people. Hey, how you doing, Brett? Thought it'd be fun to do a live chat here. Glenn, yo, from my garage, my shop. With everything that's going on, there's not a whole heck of a lot to do anyway. I don't really want to go out. I need a haircut, but I don't really feel like going to a barber. They're not open anyway. So let's see. There's three people. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Brad, where are you? Are you there? Brad's not here. A 261. That's a great saw. I had one. Uh, they really wake up with the. Did I freeze? I'm not seeing anything. Can you see me again? The internet connection, I'm not sure how good that's going to be out here. Uh, where was I? I'm just in the shop here. Yeah, 261. It's a great saw. Highly recommend it. They come alive with the muffler mod. Uh, Probably the lightest 50cc saw available right now. They take well to porting too. I really like my 550 as well. My Husqvarna 550. That took a little work to get going though. It had quite a few defects from the old manufacturer. I have a cylinder here. This is a 460, a steel 460 cylinder I worked on a while ago for a acquaintance of mine. Uh, Probably can't see too well. Hey, Brad, how are you? There's a massive amount of people here. Five, I believe. This is a 460 I worked on for someone. I have the cylinder waiting to be put on a saw. I need to find a good 460 someday. It has a the combustion chamber was cut by our old buddy Nick, if you remember him, Brad. Uh, this thing probably would make over 200 pounds of compression. Uh, Only four people. Well, I was hoping for like 10. Anyone have any questions out of all four of you? I don't know how long I'll do a live feed here. Can you guys still see me? Yeah, 200 pounds compression on a 460. No, you can't see me. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is out here. It's not that far away from the router, but it goes through a few walls that are pretty well protected. Let me get the live feed up on something else here so I can make sure it's coming through. Yeah, the 460 it doesn't take that much compression to really make them go. They like a pretty short blowdown, isn't that right, Brad? I'm not getting much response. I don't know if this is going through. And can you guys still see me? No, it's not the same as the 461. They share a lot of similar design aspects, some of the similar parts, but the cylinder is completely different design. The case is completely different design. Uh, you're getting 720p. Oh, that's not too bad. No, the 461 is completely different design. Uh, it kind of shares some of the same design aspects though. Like it still has rubber AV. Uh, it's still pretty light, so it's more grunty than the 460. Uh, I would probably take the 461 over the 460 actually. Brad, you've ran both quite a bit. You're more of a steel guy. What do you think? Anyway, you can see the 572 in the back, the front feet. Yeah. The transfers are totally different. The case is different. It uses the transfers that come in from the bottom out front underneath the exhaust port instead of up the sides. Yeah. The 460, I was always pretty impressed with that saw. The weight too, uh, just real light saw for what you get for the displacement. I still prefer the 7900, as some of you know. When did I get the 572? I got that last year. I got that right when it was released. I didn't get a chance to use it until that fall. I have about 15 tanks through it now. If you've seen the other videos, I was working on that. It runs quite good. The 462 is not just a good running saw, but it's incredibly light. It is about the same weight as a 60cc saw. Uh, I don't feel it's quite as robust in construction as, say, as the 572 here, but boy, if they hold up, the weight advantage is quite large. As far as power, there's nothing in it. This thing has plenty of power, lots of torque. I actually think that has probably a little more torque, as it should with a little more displacement, I think. Or actually, the displacement's about the same. It has a longer stroke. That usually gives you a little more torque. You know, there's too bad. I would not say the 462 struggles a long bar. I ran it. I ran Brad's Snellerized Garage, his 462 with it. I think it was a 28-inch bar. It did not. There's no problem with that. The only issue some say is with the AV being a little weak, a little floppy. But yeah, for the weight, man. If you're going to run a longer bar, I would say the 572 is the better saw. Yeah, it runs perfectly fine with the. I wouldn't hesitate to put a 32 on a 462. Uh, and of course, if you mod it, yeah, run it even easier then. This thing, yeah, it has the torque. It has the torque, I would say, and crazy smooth. And unlike a lot of the other auto tunes and some of the Mtronics, starts really easy. Yeah, 28-inch reduced weight bar on the 462 is going to be a hell of a setup. Uh, I, choosing between the two, if you're out there logging and you want to run a longer bar, I probably would get the Husqvarna. For a firewood guy and wants a little bit weight reduction, yeah, that 462 is hard to beat. It's a lot more expensive though. If you know where to look, you can get that for about a grand, little under $900. I think I paid 840 out the door for that without a bar. Are you, Bill? A little bit of both, yeah, Brad. I'm not really trying to build my channel. There's only a few guys watching. Four, exactly four. Uh, One of the things I wanted to bring up is there's been some other YouTubers. I'm laughing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A little bit of both. Well, I haven't, as you know, I still haven't been feeling that great, so I can't get out and do as much physical things as I would like to. Uh, so this kind of supplements that, I guess, a little bit. Gets me thinking about things I used to do more. Um, there's been a couple different YouTubers out there that have been promoted by other YouTubers about chainsaw modification and stuff. Some of the stuff these guys are saying are just so off base. I heard one guy talk about what did he say? Compression doesn't matter; it builds through the exhaust. Gas is coming back in. I think he's getting confused with um, an expansion chamber, how it uses the pressure wave to force some of the unburnt exhaust gases back in, but it does not raise your static compression, does not raise compression. And raising compression in these engines does help. It greatly improves thermal efficiency. So I have three people watching right now. Uh, do the three of you have any questions? Glenn, Brett, I think. Oh, I guess I can't see who's all there. I just see three people. Can you still see me, Brad? I think you're about the only guy here, so we're kind of having a no questions. Oh, all right. Me and Snellerized Garage used to have a lot of fun playing with saws and porting them. For moral support, yeah. Well, your dad was a good guy. Moral support. We're up to four people now. Anyway, yeah, the 461's a good saw. The 362, highly recommend it. Won't be disappointed. I would say 50cc saws are about my favorite. My favorite 70-ish cc saw is probably still the Domar 7900. I just haven't seen anything new that great to come along in uh, 241. Yeah, that is a little hot rod. I heard you had some carb issues with that. Did you have some carb issues? I know they had a run of those, and as you know, they're not selling them here anymore. Did you have carb issues with that? Have any? Yes, I guess I lost you. Looks like only Brad's here. Hey, you're still stumbling. Yeah, I have to do something about the Wi-Fi out in the garage. The wall between me and the router is uh it has a weird insulation. It has actually a metal on it. It does not allow much any radio signals to go through. Your 461. So yeah, it's going in and out. Your 461 stumbling, Brad. I heard there was a few problems with the carburetors here and there. Did you get it squared away? Or did you have to run 50 to 1, or was it just a 40 to 1? Well, maybe I should have given a little more heads up for the live feed. I had about 10 people said they'd like to watch it, 10 or 12 people. Maybe 24 hours next time. You're 241. Have any of you ran a ported Mac 125? Yes. Do you own a 125, Brad? No, not Brett. Brad. Sorry. Brad Snelling, Snellerized Garage. You're Brett, correct? Sorry. I still have my Mac 125 cart. Oh yeah, the cart. Oh, the cart saw that. That was nice. The cylinder's machined with new bearings, all kinds of parts, just sitting in a box for years. You know, I've never ran your Solo Twin yet. That's, it sounds like a little Kawasaki sport bike. So yeah, when it comes to porting, you know, I saw some of the cylinders from different guys out there, and they looked awful. You want something that looks as clean as can be. You see the combustion chamber there. You see the base, uh, the exhaust port. You don't want it to look goofy like a Mickey Mouse head, as I've seen. And I polished the exhaust port just to keep carbon buildup down. You don't need to. Uh, the intake, you don't want it rough, but you don't want it necessarily polished. You don't want to create laminar flow. The Solo Twin has only run once. Yeah, yeah, Bob Yeager or Rob Yeager, right? He came out and ran that with you. That wasn't long after you had your surgeries, I think. Uh, Closet master. Yeah. uh, I don't like to put myself out there that much. I just like to do it for a few friends here and there, and mostly myself. There's too much. There's too much bad blood between people, and you know it's like with any engine building or anything. People start fighting. The thing I've seen online, you know, anybody with a camera can come on here and say stuff and try to act like they know it all or promote themselves or their business. Most of the guys on YouTube, as far as I can see, who really promote themselves with salt porting are hacks. There's a few good ones out there. Hot Saw 101 seems to actually do really good work, but he does not like me. He doesn't like me one bit, but that's all right. And some guys charge just extraordinarily high amounts of money for what they do. Um, you know, Dozer Dan, I haven't heard that name in a while. Last I heard, he had a lot of medical problems and he could not port anymore. He's an old school guy. He taught quite a few of us a few things. He knew what he was doing. Uh, but with anything, you know, guys learn and try different things and move on. He used to make a pretty good 346. Uh, what's that, Brad? Hold on, it's hard to. Yeah, home with $1,000 pork chop. I've heard rumors. I've heard things. There's a few other guys that charge a lot. A guy named Jesse, he sent a saw to a guy who took a what appeared, at least on his video, to be a perfectly good working top end and put a hacked up aftermarket Chinese cylinder on it. The saw did not run right. It had like 50 thous clearance of squish or 40 thou. I don't remember the number. And it had, I think, 130 pounds of compression. Not good. Hot saws. Who did one of your saws? Dozer Dan. Yeah, there's been a lot of hacks. There's been Moody. Um, there's a few other. I'm not going to mention now because I don't want to cause bad blood with anybody. The only thing I wanted to do kind of with my channel is if people had a question about a fact that I know to answer, I can do that. And Brad Sneller Sauls, he can do that too. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You can say what you want in the chat, but I'm not gonna get into that. That's it's no skin off my back. I just want to try to spread some information if I can. I'm not used to this YouTube stuff. That it's not my style. Uh, if you want yeah, build a horse do suck, Brad. That's why I don't want to say nothing. The best thing anyone can do is just try to say the truth and what we know from. I don't want to consider myself a big engine builder, but as Brad, yeah, he knows, I know a bit. Spread the information as best we know it to clear up the misinformation. Like most of the guys that say adding compression to these engines doesn't help, they're full of it. Okay, the only reason they say that is probably because they don't have the ability to do so, or at least do it correctly. Getting in the transfers, that getting the transfers right transforms the saw. Okay, so if you don't have a right angle tool or an ability to get in there and change those transfer numbers, uh, you're not getting to, I don't want to say the next level, you're just not properly porting the saw. You're not doing proper work. And you don't want to charge for not doing proper work. Yeah, we've seen a thing or two back in the day. Yeah. A lot of that has been put to rest. A lot of that has been put to rest, Brad. I think a lot of the guys adding compression doesn't help. Yeah, right. uh, Tell that to someone building a stock car engine, an ASCAR. Working stall, you or Brad. The highest revving saw I have ever built was around 16, 16.5. That was a 372. I don't remember what my 346 has, but I don't think it was quite that high. Brad, what is your 346's spin up to? That's probably one of the higher revving saws. At least 15.5, 16 after port work. Well, heck, before port work, they're around 15. My arm's getting tired. And my connection's held up for a little while now. Try that. Try it with the other hand. It's also hard. What's that? Yeah, 17. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, Moody. Yeah, he was special. uh, Who turned out to be a real POS was Terry Landrum. He's he's taken dozens and dozens of people's saws. Yeah, Terry Landrum. He's taken dozens and dozens of people's saws and just kept thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment. He would uh, take an order for a saw and just never send it out. Dozens of people. The police are involved in everything. It turns out he used to be a car thief in Ohio, by the way, Terry Landrum. He has a pretty good lengthy police record. I have a 346 old edition in Ohio 15. Yeah. No, can't trust a thief. Yeah, there is info on Terry from the beginning. I remember Mike Sullivan. He said, "Stay away." I said, "Really?" He said, "Don't mess with that guy." If Mike says that, Mike says, "Stay away from the guy," you're going to want to stay away from the guy. He read him right away. But he's pretty much out of the game as far as I know, Terry Landrum. Randy's still doing good work. He's busy, though. He's real busy. Yeah. Yeah, Mike does not have a social filter, as I like to say. And the older I get, the less I have one as well. Obviously, you can't say a whole lot on YouTube anymore, but that's a different story. Gonna probably make a video in a few days. Is is Eric Copes any good? He makes some of the strongest saws I have ever seen. He does. He can be a little abrasive, but he makes some of the strongest saws I've ever seen, and his race chain is off the chart. I mean, he makes full on race saws with expansion chambers, alcohol, two piece heads, all that. Yeah, Landrum. Yeah, he's done. A few days, I'm gonna. Yeah, yeah. Eric makes some crazy stuff. First time I saw his 3120 run at one of Kevin's get-togethers was like, oh geez, no way my 372 with the muffler mod's gonna beat that. Yeah, Landrum went dark a little while ago. MIA. I have a right stander. I don't want to move too much because I'm afraid of my Wi-Fi signal going out. But let's see. I think I can reverse this from where I am. Yeah, my right stander there. The valves need to be adjusted. They're starting to tick pretty good. You met Brad before? What leaf blower are you guys using? Uh, I'm going to adjust the valves on that in a few days and make a video of how to adjust the valves on that Kawasaki engine. Um, what was the question here? Oh, what leaf blower? I have a Shindaiwa backpack blower. I think it's a 8510. It's actually a four-stroke. It's pretty good blower. I think Brad has you have a BR600 now, don't you? You had a Shindaiwa 802, I think, at one point, but it's a bit heavier than the steel. Geez, I can see why these live feeds go so long. You don't realize how long you've been on. I've been on for over 30 minutes now. The Kindun 88, yeah, at the get together near Portsmouth. Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. I forget. I think it was Derek was the guy's name. At least the reconnecting seems to be working pretty quick when I lose connection. I hope it's not too bad for you guys. I got up to 6 people viewing at one point. Woohoo! Yeah, that's a 52-inch right stander. Yeah, it has the 19 horse Kawasaki FH 580V. It's been a good engine. Those are good engines. Those Kawasaki engines, man. Uh, Especially that. Yeah, I keep losing connection, fellas. Uh, I have to do something about that. Brad, who's the scrappy little fellow who's running that popular popular? I think that's supposed to be Poland Pro. Kohler. Yeah, they had 2008. They had some issues back then. They went through some changes. Kohler did at that time, and their engines. At that time, my dealer wouldn't even sell Kohler. Uh, it was all Kawasaki. I know they had some valve issues, and I think you're right, some head issues. I'm not sure who you're referring to. He made race chains. Was that one of the two brothers? They were twins. I'm not sure. Yeah, we've all been slacking with this all stuff lately. Uh, what can you do? Especially when you lose your machinist. At least not lose him, but lose his work. Head gaskets on the Kohlers. Oh, they had a special kit, probably different gas kit. Oh, he's a machine, a little scrappy fella. Well, were you talking about maybe the opposite of the little guy, a big guy running Poland's? He was a machine. He is a machinist. That'd be Nick Tesla. Oh, a new 75cc top end. I thought you put that on there. I knew you had it, but I thought you already put that on there. Yeah, fat guy. Yeah, that that would be Nick. I tried talking to Nick a few days ago, but no answer. There's 7 people on there. All right, there's a few more people. I figured I'd have about. I was hoping to have about 10. Yeah, yeah. Nick calls himself fat guy. He is fat, but that's his self-given name. Sweetest guy you ever meet, and very good machinist. He did the work on this. Look at the combustion chamber on that. I mean, you can only do that with the CNC. Yeah, he Nick is he's a special individual. Any questions about salt porting from the guys who apparently just back live here? Yeah, it keeps clicking in and off the Wi-Fi. But at least I can resume it pretty quickly. They have it set up now. I guess that's pretty common. Man, I look bald right there, don't I? Look at that. I'm almost bald if I hold my head up. Look how gray I am, Brad. You can go tighter on smaller saws like a 50 cc. My 346 has 16 thou clearance. Uh, there's a little equation on it. The smaller the displacement, you can go a little tighter. And I have an EHP 7900 with 10 thou clearance, 10 thou squish clearance. Stock, my 7900, I have a 7900 with 13. So it's not a linear set thing. And it depends on the design of the saw, the tolerances, the RPMs the saw makes. The squish band size makes a difference. So it's not a linear thing. 20 thou is just a really good general rule. And larger displacement saws, you want to stick to that. I got a bits grinders used to make 3D cutting dies for presses, but never ported anything. It's really not that hard to start porting saws if you just do some research. Um, there's some tutorials out there. Some are good, some are not. The forums are probably still the best place to look. Yeah, 15 thou. I've seen, yeah, 17. I, I've seen 17 on a 395. It's fine, especially if you use good fuel. You always want to err on the side of caution, especially with the bigger saws. But yeah, like I said, I have a lot of time on my 346 with 17 or 16 thou squish clearance. That does, keep in mind, that does hurt your volumetric efficiency a little bit because you are reducing some space there. You are taking some space away, but it's such a small amount. It's a way to go. So we've been on for 40 minutes. I can't believe that. I'm just sitting here talking. Uh, it's drizzling outside right now. I'd take this outside, maybe go up to the wood pile I was working on. I'm afraid to go over by my wall of saws I have over there because I'll probably lose Wi-Fi. I can reverse. I can stand up. Excuse me. You can see some of the saws I have over there past the old truck in the right standard. Using the new style recoil on top end. I don't know. Probably when they switched and started calling them 660s. Probably right around that time. I would say the early 2000s. I'm not sure on that. And they rounded the plastics up, changed the shapes a little bit. I'm sure many of you guys have seen these. I finally got one of these about a year ago. Right angle rotary tool to get into the transfers. I use that for chamfering the ports. Show us your oil collection. I've thinned my 2 cycle oil collection out a little bit. Yeah, I want to say early 2000s when they changed the. What am I doing with the wild thing? That thing's a beast, man. It's actually ported. I have a video. I should have a video up of it. What that was? We had a competition, a friendly competition between me, Brad, um, I think Mark. Who else was in that? Mike, Mike Solomon, and yeah, you still have yours. And we just wanted to compare to see who had the strongest one just for the fun of it. There was actually a guy, I forget his name. He had one with a big carburetor on it from like a 372 or a 385. He fitted up, and that was definitely the strongest. Mine was the fastest out of our group, but when we went to that get together, the guy with the big carburetor, he stomped us all. Mine had the stock carburetor, and I still beat you, I guess. Yeah, it was about 10 years ago. I don't know. I have fun making some of those videos, playing with the saws. Speaking of which, someone is literally cutting right now. Oh, I don't know who it is, but let me